industrialization and social change. Objective. In this lesson, we will learn about industrialization in different European countries. Introduction. The term Industrial Revolution was first used in English by the philosopher and economist Arnold Toynbee 1852 to 1883 to describe the changes in British industrial development between 1760 and 1820. The transformation of industry and the economy in Britain between the 1780s and the 1850s is called the First Industrial Revolution. The early phase of industrial development in Britain is strongly associated with the new machinery and technologies. This made possible to produce goods on a massive scale compared to handicraft and handloom industries. Steam, a new source of power, began to be used on a wide scale in British industries. It led ships and railways to transport faster. Many of the investors and businessmen who brought these changes were often neither personally wealthy nor educated in basic sciences like physics or chemistry. Why Britain? Britain was the first country to experience modern industrialization. It had been politically stable since the 17th century with England, Wales, and Scotland. They are unified under a monarchy. It became the pioneer of the European countries to experience the process of change in production and reaping its fruits. It was looked upon as the workshop of the world. It was due to many favorable conditions that were present in England towards setting up of flourishing industries. The other countries experienced the change later. Britain was known for its commercial pursuits with other countries from the beginning of the 17th century and earned huge profits. By 18th century, it was well equipped for seaborne trade. It had good number of ports. Inland transport was improved and modernized by building a network of roads and canals. It was fortunate in having a handful of remarkable Scots and English who succeeded in inventing machines to be applied in the process of production and thus transforming the economic life of the country. Coal and iron. England was fortunate in coal and iron ore. The staple materials for mechanization were available in plenty, and other minerals like lead, copper, and tin that were used in the industry. However, until the 18th century, there was a scarcity of usable iron. Iron is extracted as pure liquid metal from the ore by a process called smelting. For centuries, charcoal from burnt timber was used for the smelting process. This had several problems. Charcoal was too fragile to transport across long distances. Its impurities produced poor quality iron. Because of short supply, forests had been destroyed for timber and it could not generate high temperatures. This long-standing problem was solved by Darbys of Shropshire, a family of iron masters. 3 generations of this family, grandfather, father and son, all of them named Abraham Darby, brought a revolution in metallurgical industry. It started with an invention in 1709 by the first Abraham Darby. This invention meant that furnaces no longer had to depend on charcoal. The second Darby developed wrought iron, which was less brittle from pig iron. Henry Cott designed the puddling furnace, in which molten iron could be rid of impurities, and the rolling mill, which used steam power to roll purified iron into bars. Britain was lucky in possessing excellent coking coal and high-grade iron ore, the same basins or even the same seams. These basins were also close to ports. There were 5 coastal coal fields which could deliver their products almost straight into ships. As a result, shipbuilding industry and the ship trade increased. Cotton spinning and weaving. The British had always woven cloth out of wool and flax to make linen. From the 17th century, the country had been importing bales of cotton cloth from India at great cost. As the East Indian Company's political control of parts of India was established, it began to import, along with cloth, raw cotton, which could be spun and woven into cloth in England. From the 1780s, the cotton industry symbolized British industrialization in many ways. This industry had two features, which were also seen in other industries. Raw cotton had to be entirely imported, and a large part and the finished cloth was exported. The industry was heavily dependent on the work of women and children in factories. Steam power. James Watt invention of steam engine brought many changes. Steam is capable of providing energy to power machines in factories, and it was first used in mining industries. With the help of a wealthy manufacturer, Matthew Boulton, Watt created the Soho foundry in Birmingham in 1775. From this foundry, James Watt's steam engines were produced in steadily growing numbers. By the end of the 18th century, Watt's steam engine was beginning to replace hydraulic power. In 1840, British steam engines were generating more than 70% of all European power. Transportation. The need to transport raw materials and manufactured products led to the improvement of roads and the digging of canals in England. The making of the first English canal, the Worsley Canal 1761 by James Brindley 1716-72. The canals were used for transporting coal. The invention of the railways took the entire process of industrialization to second stage. The first railway connected the cities of Stockton and Darlington in 1825, a distance of 9 miles that was completed in 2 hours at the speed of up to 5 miles per hour. The next railway line connected Liverpool and Manchester in 1830. Within 20 years, the speed increased to 30 to 50 miles per hour. Changed lives. It was possible for an individual with the talent to bring about revolutionary changes. Similarly, there were rich individuals who took risks and invested money in industries in the hope that profits could be made and that their money would multiply. In most cases, money capital did multiply. Wealth in the form of goods, incomes, services, knowledge, and predictive efficiency increased dramatically. The workers. A survey in 1842 revealed that the average lifespan of workers was lower than that of any other social group in cities. It was 15 years in Birmingham, 17 in Manchester, 21 in Derby. More people died at a younger age in the new industrial cities than in the villages they had come from. More than 31,000 people died from an outbreak of cholera in 1832. Women, children and industrialization. Prior to Industrial Revolution, children of the rural poor had always worked at home or in the farm during the day or between seasons under the watchful eye of parents or relatives. Likewise, in villages, women worked in farms, reared livestock, gathered firewood, and spun yarn in their homes. The working conditions in factories were completely different. They had to work long and unbroken hours of the same kind of work under strict discipline and sharp forms of punishment. Women and children were employed as they worked for smaller wages and longer hours. While industrialization gave economic freedom to women, it also resulted in loss of happiness through poor working conditions. Industrialization in Germany and France. While industrialization began early in England in the 18th century, it was not until 1850s and 1870s that industrial production became prominent in Germany and France. We know that Germany was not yet united till 1870 and France was still undergoing turmoil of wars and revolutions. Germany and France lacked colonial resources, whereas British had extensive colonies. Thus, they had to make up for these disadvantages. Germany. German industrialization was greatly facilitated by the German government, which not only provided a large market for its industries, besides investing in building roads and railways and developing mines. The German army required huge quantities of arms and ammunition, and many of the leading industrialists focused on the arms industry. The government also controlled working class movement with a heavy hand and at the same time provided for many social benefits and insurance for the workers. This enabled the factory owners to control their workers and pay less. France. It was slow in industrializing. Even by the end of the 19th century, it remained a rural country with a large majority of people cultivating small plots of land. Manufacturers found it more profitable to give out work to rural workers who worked at home rather than to set up factories in towns. Industrialization was a result of the spread of railway and road networks after 1860, which created a wide market for its industrial goods. France also did not develop banks which could mobilize large amount of capital. This resulted in lack of capital for industrialists and slowed down the pace of industrialization. Summary. In this lesson, we learnt about emergence of industrial revolution in Britain, various industries that came up in Britain, coal and iron, cotton spinning and weaving, steam power, transportation, women and children industrialization, industrialization in Germany and France.